Are we up? All right. Okay, great. All right, y'all. Sorry for that. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Virginia students. Just to start off real quick, you all have your camera and microphones are muted, so you cannot talk and you cannot share your camera. However, you can ask questions using the Q&A box on your screen. Our presenters will answer your questions from there. They'll either answer them out loud or they'll answer you privately. I encourage y'all to sign up for more sessions. You can do that at strivescan.com/Virginia, and all of the recordings will be available at that same site. So sign up there, and I will go ahead and hand it over to our presenters.
All right. So we are going to be talking to you guys about majors today. Let me get our slideshow. Okay, so welcome. We're really excited to be here. So our topic is majors you have never dreamt of, and we're going to discover creative college majors that lead to exciting careers. So first of all, we're going to introduce ourselves. So does everybody just want to introduce themselves real quick? I'll start with me, I guess. I'm Western Carolina University. My name's Molly Tippett. I'm the Assistant Director of Admission at Western Carolina.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Willis, and I'm the Associate Director of Freshman Admissions at Massachusetts Maritime Academy.
Hi, I'm Marisa Marcy. I'm a Regional Admissions Representative with Johnson & Wales University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Hart, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions for the University of Mary Washington.
Awesome. So today we're going to explore a bunch of different things. We're going to explore what is a college major. We're going to talk about pursuing your passions, some unique majors to consider, and some general majors.
So first, we just wanted to start off with, what is a major? It's something that gets talked about a lot in relation to college admissions, but you may be watching this thinking, I'm not really sure what a major is. Well, here we have a very specific major definition of what a major is: a specific subject you specialize in while earning a college degree, which demonstrates a sustained high level of work in one field. So basically what that means is when you go to college, the courses that you take are not going to be automatically designated the way that they are in high school, at least not for everyone on campus. You're going to have a certain number of general classes that you take that are part of the regular college curriculum that all students are taking. And then the rest of your courses, which will be the majority of them, are going to be focused in one specific content area. And that's going to be kind of the focus of your entire degree. And that's preparing you to work in a specific field. So for example, if you wanted to work in politics, you might major in political science. Or if you wanted to be a doctor, even though you'd be going to medical school, you'd want to major in health science or biology to build that base. So basically, this is something to focus your courses on to prepare you for whatever career or type of career that you plan to pursue in the future.
So when it comes to trying to figure out which is the best major for you to pursue, you're going to hear a lot of people sometimes say, well, follow your passion. And that really is a good place to start. Think about what is it that you love to do when no one's making you do anything else. And, maybe you love clothes and shopping. Maybe you love sailing. Maybe it's playing video games or listening to music. So that's a good place to start. But don't stop there. You should also use your head. Think about things that you're good at, that you have a natural aptitude for. Well, let's say, for example, that you really like helping your friends work through their issues and you're a good listener. Well, then maybe psychology is a good major for you. Or maybe you're just crazy about animals and you're acing all your science classes. Well, you could go to college, maybe being a veterinarian is what you should do. So you could go to college and major in biology and then go on to vet school afterwards. And those are just a couple examples. But what you want to do is start by dreaming big, but you do want to be a little practical at the same time too. And there are a lot of people that can help you. Your school counselors are great at talking this through with you. And then all of us are admissions representatives, and all colleges have admissions representatives. And a big part of our job is talking to students, finding out what their dream job is, and finding out if our schools have a major that fits that, and if we would be a good fit for you. And then the other thing, sometimes people might have a general idea of what they want to do. Maybe they want to go into business or science or art, but they're not really sure. They're not really specific about it. If that's you, that's okay. You might want to start by looking at institutions that have a lot of offerings within those general categories. But again, talk to your school counselors and then talk to us admissions reps. That's what we're here for.
Okay. And like kind of Marissa was alluding to, there are a lot of activities that you can be doing to try and expose yourself to lots of different majors and to lots of different career opportunities as you're kind of trying to make those decisions. One of the things that you can start doing is just looking at the colleges that you're interested in and looking at the list of majors that they have to see if there's anything that sparks your interest or something that you don't know about, something that you've never heard of that you might want to learn more about. And then from there, you can go and explore those campuses, see what kinds of offices that they have that could support your career exploration, communicating with your admissions officer and seeing if they can put you in touch with different professors in departments that you might be interested in, or department heads from those departments to talk to you a little bit more about what you might be able to do with that major, what careers students typically go into. And from there, you know, you can explore internships to maybe try your hand at different careers and see if there are things that get you more excited about things than others. In addition to that, there are also some tools and resources that you can use. If anybody goes to a Navient school, I know Navient offers a tool where you answer a bunch of questions and can answer a quiz. And then we also found this nifty little tool. So if you go to that website, you take a short quiz and it will give you a list of majors that might be a good fit for you, or just some things that you might want to be considering based on what you tell it about yourself. So from here, we're going to dive into, you know, a little bit about each of our universities and what we offer in terms of majors that you might not have ever heard of or that you might be thinking about. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Mary Washington. The University of Mary Washington is located in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We are about 50 miles from DC and from Richmond. We've got about 4,100 undergraduate students, so we're relatively small, but we are still a public school. We have an average class size of about 19, so it's similar to what a lot of you might experience in your high school classes. We have 45 different majors and 37 different minors, and being a liberal arts school, our curriculum's really flexible, so you can combine those in a variety of different ways that might be interested to you. We actually don't ask you to declare a major until after you've completed 28 credits. So this gives you lots of time to explore and, you know, try different things and figure out what might feel good for you as a major. And in just a little bit, I'll also talk to you about our special majors, which is an option where you can kind of create your own major. So one of the majors that I always like to highlight for students when I'm talking about what Mary Washington can offer is historic preservation. We were actually the first university to have an independent historic preservation department, and we're consistently the largest. So if you're interested in things like history and archaeology, you know, you get excited about Indiana Jones and artifacts and preserving history, this might be a good fit for you. Our students do internships with the museums in DC, with the National Park Service, and with the Department of Interior. This department actually has a really great placement rate for students after they graduate, with 90% of our students being employed after graduation. Moving on to conservation biology. So conservation biology focuses on biological diversity and how we can support the health of our planet and the other organisms that live on it. So if you're interested in biodiversity, in research, in genetics, and in, you know, conserving our natural resources, this might be a good fit for you. Students do internships with the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute, our Game and Inland Fisheries, and the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. And we actually have a really unique opportunity with this program where our students can spend a semester away from the university with the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute, and you actually live and do conservation work for a semester through the Smithsonian. One of the other kind of unique opportunities that we provide is the opportunity to do a Geographic Information System certificate. So if anybody has ever heard of GIS or worked with GIS, you know that it's the process of taking maps and taking geography and putting it into the computer so that we can work with that big data. It is a certificate program, so you can add it on to any major. You know, there is no restriction on that. And we're in a really great location for you to actually get hands-on experience with this. 15% of all geospatial jobs in the United States are in the Washington, Maryland, and DC area. Our graduates find careers in all sorts of things, crime analysts, they go and work for various government agencies, they work for UPS. Really, the sky's the limit when it comes to GIS because you can apply it to so many different fields. So kind of wrapping up, like I said at the beginning, we do offer a opportunity for special majors. So this is a major that you actually design. You work with a faculty advisor to pull classes from 2 or more different areas to actually build your own major. And that goes through an approval process so that you actually get that approved and that is something that you can say you majored in at the university. Some recent special majors that we've had include journalism, digital media studies, linguistics, arts management, and Latin American studies. And just to kind of wrap this up, if you're interested in learning more about Mary Washington and what we provide and what we can offer in terms of majors, feel free to connect with us. You can send us an email or a phone call and we'll get you connected with your admissions counselor. And you can follow us on all of our social media channels. We try and post really interesting things that, you know, apply to people all across the academic spectrum and for all interests to get you excited about Mary Wash.
Okay, hello again, everyone. Like I said before, I work at Massachusetts Maritime Academy, which you may not have heard of before, and that's okay. We are, you know, a little farther away, and we definitely offer pretty much exclusively unique majors, which is why we are here today. This is a picture of our campus to give you an idea of what campus looks like. That's okay. And just our website on the bottom in case you're looking for more information once we wrap up. Now you can go ahead. Some quick facts about us. We are located in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, which is right along the Cape Cod Canal, about an hour directly south of Boston. We have about 1,700 undergraduate students, so we are relatively small in the context of colleges. We have about an additional 100 graduate students, so 1,800 total. We are a state university of Massachusetts, as well as a state maritime academy. So basically what that means is we're a state university that's considered a special mission college, which means we have a specialized focus in our academic programs. We're one of 6 state maritime academies in the country, and in a minute I'll get into kind of like what that means. But what we're offering is definitely a very unique type of education. What does tie all of our academics together is a STEM-based curriculum. That sort of is the underlying feature of all of the majors, as well as a regimented campus lifestyle. So all of our students participate in a regiment of cadets on campus, which basically means that there's a military style structure. Students wear uniforms, their day-to-day life is relatively structured, but they don't have a service obligation. So you're not joining the military by coming to Mass Maritime and you have no requirement to do so. That's just a structure that exists on campus. But we do still have more traditional things like Division III varsity athletics. We have a very involved student government association, other clubs on campus to give you those traditional aspects of campus life in addition to that unique regimented part of campus life. And so in our academics, which is really what I want to focus on here, we have 7 undergraduate programs. They're all Bachelor of Science degrees. These are all of the majors that we have. And like I said, unique majors is pretty much the only thing that we do. So marine engineering and marine transportation are both programs where students earn a U.S. Coast Guard license in addition to their bachelor's degree, which basically gives them the ability to work out on ships like the one in my virtual background. And that's sort of what makes us a state maritime academy. So we're really one of 6 state universities in the country that allows you to do these 2 programs in addition to Kings Point, which is a federal service academy. Our other 5 programs are more focused on land-based careers, so you definitely don't have to work on a ship or even in the maritime industry. Our other programs, some of the students are working in shoreside positions that support the maritime industry, and others are working in entirely other fields altogether. Things like facilities engineering, energy systems engineering, those have a big focus on environmental sustainability and energy management. Emergency management is something that's obviously really crucial right now as we see in the middle of a pandemic. And so those students are going into fields that are focused on emergency planning, preparedness, and response. Maritime business, which is the logistics side of shipping, and marine science, safety, and environmental protection, which is a combination of marine science and environmental science. Like I said, what strings all of these together is a focus in STEM. So like Marisa mentioned earlier, sometimes a general thing that you want to focus in. So you might know that STEM or engineering or something is what you want to do, but you're not sure which type you want to focus on. And so we're a place to check out if you know that STEM is what you're thinking, but you want to explore some unique options. These are some really unique ways to apply those STEM skills. Also, what's great is this is a unique focus on something that you can always zoom out of. So you major in something like facilities engineering, it has a mechanical engineering base. So you have this unique focus and this unique twist that you're particularly specialized in. But if you decide down the line, I'd really want to switch into this other type of engineering, you still have those basic skills you need to make that switch. You can go to the next slide. Thanks. And so these are some opportunities to learn more, as I'm sure all of us here tonight have a variety of virtual programming options coming up this fall. So if any of what I just said sounds interesting to you, come check us out. We have a number of general info sessions, an open house series, cadet chats, so you can talk to some of our current students about how they came to Mass Maritime and what they're doing, personal interviews, and we'll be involved in some more collaborative panels like this one. And that's our website in case you'd like to check any of that out. And I will hand it over.
Hi, everybody. This is Marisa from Johnson & Wales University. We are a private nonprofit university with 2 campuses, Providence, Rhode Island, up in the northeastern part of the US, and Charlotte, North Carolina in the southeast. And the next slide, we're all about experiential education at Johnson & Wales. You will learn by doing. In fact, this is just a snapshot of some of our classes. And as you can see, they don't look like your typical classrooms. They're actually learning labs. And so you'll never be bored. And the next slide talks about that has our 2 locations. And and I should say we're about 12,000 students if you combine all of our campuses. And it's a beautiful diversity. We have students from all across the country and also close to 80 foreign countries. So it's a very inclusive, very welcoming atmosphere. And one of the things that I love at Johnson & Wales is that you're going to jump into your major in your freshman year. You will both have classes in your major as well as your core general education classes right away in the very first term. And the next slide will show you, we have about more than 50 majors actually. And if you want to get more information, you can see our website there. So you can see we have all the things standard things that you already probably know about, things like business and engineering, technology, sports, entertainment management, and fashion, which are all, again, very hands-on, very learning by doing. But if you go to the next slide, you'll start to see these are some majors that maybe you haven't heard of before. Applied food science, for example. If you're a person who really loves culinary arts, maybe you have fun dabbling in the kitchen, but you don't want to be a chef or a restaurateur, but you also love chemistry, you might want to think about applied food science. Food scientists, what they do, they're the people that they discover ways to make food taste better and last longer. They even imagine new flavor sensations. So if you major in that, you could be the one who creates the next nacho cheese, Doritos, Locos Tacos. You could be the person who figures out what the astronauts are going to be eating at the space station. If you're into sustainability, if you really care about the planet and you want to make sure that there's a future for all the coming generations, sustainability majors are something that you really might want to look into. Sustainable food systems, for example, that has to do with ensuring access to good, nutritious food for everybody. You'll really immerse yourself in the food system with this major, from farms to supply chains, working with local communities, and even then going right up onto Capitol Hill to try to impact policy. And some of the careers our grads in that major go into, everything from farming, media, journalism, law, public health, technology, education, and government. And now the next slide, we'll talk about another sustainability major. That's our adventure sports sustainability major. If you can picture yourself canopy zip lining in Brazil or base jumping in South Africa, maybe dog sledding in the Arctic, if you really want to travel and do things like that, but you want to make sure that it doesn't harm the local environment, this is a cool major to consider. It's actually one of the fastest growing fields in the world. Basically, tourism enhances the lives of the people in that area through economics, cultural preservation, health and wellness, and environmental conservation. And if you major in this, you can really be on the cutting edge of that. Let's see, now the next slide will show some other cool majors we have. Equine management. Do you love horses? Well, this will get you into the business of it. This will lead into careers like maybe managing or owning your own stables, designing competition courses all across the globe. So again, it's a way to combine something that you really love. You love riding horses, and then really making a rewarding career out of it. Now, event management. Maybe you can see yourself planning like epic outdoor concerts or planning celebrity weddings, maybe working at international expos, basically event management. If you're the kind of person who loves planning parties, going into event management is something that's really cool. It's really big business, and it's an exciting career too. Now, entrepreneurship, of course, that's owning your own business. So if your dream is to be your own boss, create your own company, becoming an entrepreneur is something to think about. And I'm really proud. With Johnson & Wales, we were founded way back in 1914 as a business school. And the success rate of our grads who become entrepreneurs is very far above the national average. So you can do that in general with entrepreneurship, or you can specialize it in things like food and beverage entrepreneurship. To give you an example of some careers that can lead to, you could become a brewer, a caterer, a wine distributor, or even own your own coffee company. So again, if you love the whole concept of food and beverage and owning your own business, that's a neat major. And something else that we offer is cannabis entrepreneurship. Now, I know a lot of people are going to make jokes about higher education and things like that, but this really is, it's huge business. In fact, this industry is expected to grow from $10 billion to $80 billion in the next decade. So it's going to lead to a lot of job opportunities. And this really is, it's a rigorous major. It spans everything, the entire process of building a business, from the keys of successful entrepreneurship to exploring the process of developing your own CBD products, from seed to distribution. And just an example of some careers that this leads to: becoming a master extractor, a master grower, a dispensary manager, or even a bud tender. And with the next slide, show you, sometimes you have lots of interests. So you can double major, or you can major in minor. So if you double major, you pick 2 subjects. If you major in minor, you kind of specify a little bit more, and then you can take concentrations just to further delve into, if you want to dive a little bit deeper into a major. And again, you can talk to your admissions reps about that. And at Johnson & Wales, we also have a design your own major. You work closely with your advisor to get it approved, but it can be an interdisciplinary major. And the next slide, I just want to let people know that sometimes, you know, people stress. If you get into your major and then you find out it's not the right one, talk to your advisor. And a lot of times you can change it. And the other thing that I want to show you, this is kind of, but a way to find out if a major really is for you, as we talked about earlier, is doing an internship. And at Johnson & Wales, because you start taking classes in your major as early as your freshman year, you can do an internship even in your sophomore year. And a lot of our students do 2 internships. And we'll go to the next slide. And what I love, because of our great internship program, because of our great faculty, we have a 97.7% career outcomes rate. And what that means is that upon graduation, almost all of our grads are doing what they want to do, whether it's launching their careers in the field they majored in, or going on to med school or law school, or going on for their MBA. And we have internships all across the country, all across the world, and more than half of them pay. And 71% of our students received a job offer where they did their paid internship last year. And with the next slide, just to let you know, if Johnson & Wales interests you, we'd love to have you come visit. Check out this website. We're doing both virtual tours and in-person tours. You need to register for an in-person tour, but that's the site to go to for that. And finally, if you want to get more information, the next slide will show you, you can text Wildcats to 75192. Anyway, thanks for your interest, and go Wildcats.
All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Western Carolina University. If you look behind me, that is our campus. We are in the Cullowhee Valley, in the mountains of North Carolina. It's actually right where the Blue Ridge and the Great Smoky Mountains meet. We are a public university in North Carolina. We are part of the UNC system, and we have about over 12,000 students. So we have over 120 different programs of study. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of our most popular programs and some of our a little bit, you know, out of the ordinary ones. So something cool about Western is under our anthropology major, we actually have a forensic anthropology focus. Now, we are one of, I believe, 6 schools in the country that actually offers a decomposition forest where people donate their bodies to science, and you can actually do hands-on investigation, the study of decomposition, that kind of thing. That's a very unique program that we offer. We also offer things that are a little more traditional, like education, nursing, business. You know, we've got a great entrepreneurship program as well. We do have a few other that are a little bit different, like our emergency and disaster management and emergency medical care programs. They're going to be really hands-on. So emergency medical care actually has a couple of ambulances that they run through the campus, and they're actually very hands-on, and they get to participate in that as a student. They live in a special residence hall. They actually respond to emergency calls. They get that really great experience. In addition, another really good major that is a little bit different is going to be probably something more along the lines of our hospitality and tourism program. We're in the mountains of North Carolina, so you get a really great hands-on experience with that. So you can find all that information through our website, majorsminors.wcu.edu. And so the other thing, and you can see some of our students here on the side, we offer community engagement, where we get all of our students out of the classroom and into an internship and participating in something that is not just sitting in a classroom. So they do things like our forensic science program gets to identify and extract DNA. Our College of Business students get to do a capstone project where they're actually out in the field working with businesses. It's more than just sitting in a regular classroom. So we also offer several pre-professional programs. So with that, you're going to have a major and a pre-professional advisor. So we have pre-medicine, pre-pharmacy, pre-optometry, pre-physician's assistant, pre-physical therapy, pre-occupational therapy, pre-dental, pre-vet, and pre-law. I know that was a lot. That was a lot of pre's. But I'm going to tell you guys that with these programs, you can really pick almost any major that you want. You're just going to work with your advisors to make sure that you're covering all the coursework that you're going to need to apply to that next step. So it could be like, I want to go to medical school. What do I study? Well, you can study biology. You can study forensic science. I mean, you could really even study history, but you need to make sure that you're covering all those medical classes that you need. So with this, with a pre-professional track, we also encourage students to do those internships and community engagements so that you actually get that hands-on experience and make sure that is the track that you want to continue on following graduation. So for more information about really specific majors, I've put our advising information up here. Now, advising center is going to be the one who's going to help you actually, you know, when planning classes, when looking at your majors. I've also put the link to our academic advising center so you can take a look at a little bit more of what the curriculum looks like for some of the different majors. Typically they'll have an 8-semester plan where you can look at what that looks like for you potentially as an incoming freshman or transfer student. And you'll have my contact information again here in a few minutes. I'm going to put all of our contact information back up. If you're interested in the admission side of things and you have general questions, or if you want to talk to me about what majors we offer and what you really want to know about those majors, I would be glad to talk to you or help get you in touch with that department. So this is our contact information. And you've got that at the beginning. We've got it here at the end for you in case you want to write that down. And now we've got about a little under 15 minutes left. So we wanted to open it up for Q&A. So Ashley, you want to get us started?
Yeah, so definitely if you have, I know we have some in here already, but definitely if you have questions, drop them in the Q&A. We want to get to those. So first off, I'm going to direct this to Amanda. What are the benefits of creating your own major?
Yeah, absolutely. So creating your own major, like I said, is something that we do a lot at Mary Wash. It's something that we encourage students to do. The benefits really are that you get to study exactly what you're interested in. So like I said, we have a lot of people who choose to special major in journalism. So they take things from like our digital studies major and they take things from English and they put them together to create a journalism program. This allows you to kind of be at a school that you want to be at, even if it doesn't really match what major you want, because you have that option to build your own major. I will say though, you don't need to go to a school that has a create your own major option in order to specialize in this way. A lot of schools have options for you to double major or to pick up in a minor or multiple minors. And you can really customize your curriculum in that way. I will say creating your own major can be a little bit front heavy. So I wouldn't recommend this option to somebody who didn't have a plan for that early on. I would never want you to get to your sophomore year and just starting to think about creating your own major, because you might not have enough time to get all of the legwork done, work with your advisor, pull classes, get them all approved. But if you want to major in something super unique that isn't really offered at any school, and you know what school you want to go to and they have an option to create your own major, definitely go for it. It's a great option, and it just kind of lets you follow your passion and study what you want.
Great. So our next question, which I can start off answering, and then if someone else wants to add anything, that's fine. But how should I know where to start with choosing a major? It can definitely seem really overwhelming. There's a lot of majors out there. I think kind of going back to what Marisa was saying a little bit earlier, think about what you like. You're getting that, you're in general classes in high school, right? And those are kind of things that are going to continue on into college. So if you had to choose of your high school classes, you know, which ones to take again, or which ones that you could fill your schedule with, that's, I think, a good place to start is, while I'm in high school, what is it that I like? What is it that I like to do outside of school? And focusing on how you can kind of turn that into a career. There's so much out there. Just because something seems like a hobby or an extracurricular activity doesn't mean that it can't be an academic program also. Obviously, once it becomes an academic program, there might be, you know, some more work that involved than the way you think of it as a hobby. But it's a good way to start to think about what it is that you like. And remember, you do not have to choose a major when you're entering college. Plenty of people enter college undecided, and that's okay. Mass Maritime happens to be like a unique place in where you actually can't enter undecided. So we're not a great example for that, but I'm sure everyone else here, that's the case. And even if you enter in one major and then change your mind, you can always switch. So even at a place like Mass Maritime where everyone's entering into a specific major, we still have people that switch, and advisors who work with them to make sure that they're still on track and still graduate on time. And that's going to be the case at most universities, whether you come in undecided and need to choose something, or you come in under one major and need to switch. Rely on those academic advisors or faculty or other supports that you have on campus to help you navigate once you're on campus, because it's an ongoing process. Even once you're in your career, you might switch again then. So use the resources you have to help make those choices.
You know, I'm going to chime in. There's actually an old saying talking about pursuing your passion, and it goes, if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. And it's the idea being that, you know, even if you won the lottery and you had no need to have a salary, no money worries at all, you would want to keep on doing what you're doing because you love your work so much. And it's like Ashley was saying too. Yeah, so think about the classes that you love, the things that get you excited, and there probably is a way to turn them into a career. And again, looking into the majors is the first step in that.
So another question we have, which I think next in our rotation can direct towards Marisa. Are there any good websites that you would recommend to research majors?
Yeah, there are a couple that I know, well, Naviance actually has a good feature on there. And I'll be honest too, you know, the internet nowadays, just type in college majors. You know, you just kind of you do an all-out general search. CapEx is another good website. It's CAPPEX. So I would say CapEx and Naviance would be good places to start. Do any of you guys know some other ones off the top of your heads? But those are pretty much two of the standard bearers.
I believe College Board also has some tools to help you kind of narrow down interests and match you with majors and schools.
I think so. There's a lot of, I know we reference one specific quiz that's good for matching college majors, but there's so many, you know, even personality quizzes that give you an idea of different careers that you might work in. I mean, some of them are kind of silly, like they're meant to be fun, but in all honesty, it's a good way to get some ideas. You know, you might do it in GIST, you know, to see what might come up, or they list something that seems kind of funny, but the reality is that there's a lot of untapped careers out there that you may not be thinking of, and those are kind of some good ways to get started on them. But yeah, even good old Google is a good place to start.
And I would always say take some classes when you're still in your general studies and some things that interest you. And just see, because a lot of times people will be dead set, they want to be on this major, they're pre-law and they're going to major in this, but then they'll start taking classes in psychology. And that doesn't mean they can't be pre-law, but they might fall in love with psychology and say, you know, really, this is more what I want to do. So just follow your interests. Like Marissa said, pursue your passion.
And I would say in addition to that, take some things that you're unsure of. Most schools offer so many different topics of study that you probably haven't even been exposed to, and you have no idea what they mean. I use myself as an example. I took an anthropology course my first semester of college. I had no idea what it was. I didn't know what anthropology was. And that ended up being my major. That's what I got my bachelor's degree in. So take some things that you think sound cool, but that you don't know anything about, because you might end up finding something that you really love.
And other things to do too is just talk to people. You know, when you're out and about, you might see someone doing something. Maybe you see a surveyor, you know, surveying on the street, you say, wow, that looks pretty cool. You know, talk to people, or also too, talk to your family members, your aunts and your uncles, your neighbors. They might have some cool careers that they're doing, and they can talk to you about the pathways that they took to get there. I'm trying to think, there's another good website. And again, with the internet, if you just start looking into just even general fields that might interest you, or you can work backwards too. Think about careers that you would love to have, and then just type that into the internet. What do I need to major in to become a blank? And see what that leads to.
I think that leads into a good question that we also want to pose. And we can start with Molly. If you have an idea of a career that you want to do, you know, you have a dream job, how do you go about figuring out what major would best prepare you for that career?
So I would really suggest, if you have a dream job and this is your dream, I would talk to the advisors at the school. I would say, hey, listen, you know, I really want to do this, and I'm not exactly sure which major I fall under. And they can help you figure out which major is going to get you that experience that you need, those internships that you're looking for, get you that, that whole rounded college experience that you have, so that when you go out into the postgraduate world, that you have, the experiences to get that career, or to go to that graduate school or professional school, depending on what you're looking to do. I mean, and we also, all of our schools, I'm pretty sure, probably have someone who specializes in like a career like we have a career center. I'm sure we all have some place like that where you can actually go meet with a career representative and say, this is what I want to do, but there's not exactly a major that's just this. What majors do I need to do? What internships do I need to look at? Career Center is a great resource for all of you. And you can talk to your high school counselor and get that process started. But when you get to college, usually we have a specialized career center that really helps, to talk to you about what happens, during college, to help you prepare for that postgraduate world.
I was thinking too, a lot of times high schools have career days where they bring in people from the community to talk about their experiences. So you might want to check with your counselor, and if your school does that, definitely take advantage of it.
I just want to add in that vein also, never be so stressed that if I choose this major, it means I can never pursue any other career. Know that most careers are full of people that majored in a pretty wide variety of things. I'll use admissions as an example. I'm sure everyone on this panel majored in something different in college. And so with the exception of like a few technical majors where you maybe need to earn a very specific license or something, in most situations, there's a lot of paths to one career. And so don't get too bogged down feeling like if you make the wrong choice at 18, it's going to define the rest of your life. There's a lot of flexibility in a lot of the majors out there. And there's even things like certificate programs, which I know Amanda mentioned, that you can always tack on later on if you're looking for a specific skill that wasn't included in your major. There's always opportunities to kind of get that later on too.
It's also a really great function of minors. I always use my husband as an example. He has a mechanical engineering degree, but he got a minor in education. And his minor in education has served him in so many scenarios that he never would have expected, but he just really loved education. He knew he wanted to be an engineer, but there's part of him that's always kind of wanted to be a teacher. And so he did that minor in engineering, and it has served him really well moving forward in his career in ways that he never even anticipated. So if you're majoring in something and you're like, you know what, this is what I want to do for a career, but I also really love this other thing over here and I really want to take courses on it, add it on as a minor. You never know where, those courses could take you and what skills that you're going to learn that you can apply to your career in other fields.
And I think we are out of time. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I know our facilitator is going to take it.
All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for joining us. Let me just pull up this quick ending slide. After you exit out, you will receive a quick survey, quick 4-question survey. Please fill that out. It's super helpful to everyone here. And sign up for more sessions at strivescan.com/Virginia. And all the recordings will be available at that same site. So you can watch this one back and you can watch other ones you might have missed. But thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Hope you have a great evening and a great rest of your week.
Thank you all. Bye.